All right, let's go. Happy pre-4th. It's July 3rd, actually, 2026. The Ocala Real Estate Channel. We're going to be talking about what is happening in the Ocala real estate market 2026 mid-year, halfway through the year, just past the halfway mark. I'm the broker, Glenn Stein, Realty Executives, owner of Realty Executives Ocala and the Villages. So we're going to be looking at what's happening in Marion County, what's happening in the Ocala real estate market. So let's jump into it right now. When we're looking at sales, so this is the chart over the last 10 years, but we're going to get into it a little bit deeper. How many home sales have taken place this year, 2026? June of 2026, by the way, wasn't the worst, wasn't the greatest. It was somewhere in the middle, but actually pretty good. It was the third best June that we've had in Marion County. Of course, there's a lot more homes on the market. There's a lot more homes in the market, not just on. The market has grown tremendously. And it was the third best, but it was almost the best, because the best was 1,030 in 2021. Also in 2023, 2026, 1,020. We're looking at June. Wasn't the best, but it was right up there as well. Really solid. Or actually not June, May rather. May was probably like the fourth best. So we're having a really solid year if you compare 26 versus 25. January is just a little bit better. February is a lot better. March a little bit less. April significantly better. May significantly better, big jump, and then even bigger jump in June. So we're seeing a positive trend. We're seeing a positive trend where we're beating last year significantly over the last 3 months. We've seen that big jump. So that's a positive thing for sure. So if you're thinking about buying, let's look at inventory. Look at inventory. Let's look at the speed of the marketplace, because I want to give you good advice. So you think, okay, is this the best time to buy? Interest rates seem to be staying in the same spot. And it looks like with the Fed, and saw a jobs report come out yesterday, day before, and it looks like the interest rates may come down, maybe later on this year, maybe early part of next year, maybe, or not, right? So I think there's going to be probably a lot of the same, but I think people are starting to feel a little bit better about things. So the amount of buyers on the market right now, that's a little bit better. If you look at 2021, this is months of inventory, which is essentially the rate of the speed of the market, which is if you look at the amount of inventory in the market and you look at how many homes are selling on a monthly basis, how long would it take for all the inventory to disappear, right? Which is kind of like in a vacuum. In 2021, we saw a lot of 2 months on the market, 3 months of inventory. And then obviously interest rates go up. So we see the months of inventory go up 3, 4, 5 in 22, 23, it's in the 5s, even 6s, 24 more the same, 25, 8, right? Like 8 months supply of homes, 6, 7, 8, 8 to begin this year. Now we're down to 5. And if you look at it, we didn't have 1 month in the year of 2025 that had 5 on it. 24 saw 4 and 5. I think we're going to see that the rest of this year. We're going to see 4, 5, right? The rest of this year, which comes back to a little bit better, improved marketplace. So I think that, if you don't have to buy or sell, I don't think it's the best time for any of it. But if you must buy, I think it's a pretty decent time to buy. Waiting for interest rates. If the interest rates come down, I think you're going to see a much quicker market, which means prices will go up at the same time that interest rates go down. And I think you're going to see a 2022 type market. But you're seeing a lot of homes, as I showed you before, a lot of homes are selling. So I think it's a decent time to buy, and Marion County is drawing a lot of new visitors and new people into the marketplace because it's still one of the most affordable markets in Florida for sure. Let's look at average sales price. In the meantime, let's talk about, you're selling your home. We'll look at inventory in a minute. So hold on to that. That's the last thing we're going to cover. Average sales price, $320,000. That's less than what we saw in 23. but still much higher than what we saw in prior years, right? Like, are we at a peak? Let me show you a chart. Oh, right. So we've been in this peak for the last 5 years. I don't see us going down to this price, by the way. I think those days are done and over. I've sold in this marketplace since 2000, and it was down here, right? Like it was like at this level below 100, like 80,000 was the typical. So it's done this. If we had a 20-year chart, which we can't do, or 30-year chart, it would be this right here. It would follow that line, kind of like just kind of straight across, not straight across, but angled across. And now we're seeing more of a straight across over the last 5 years, a little bit of a dip here in 2023. And we're seeing that, like there's modifications here, but I think we're going to see more of this. And then after a couple of years, I think we're going to continue long term. I think we're trending this way. Florida's trending up in price. It's not going to be coming down tremendously. Maybe dips here and there, but long-term trend is definitely up because we're seeing more and more people want to move here for various reasons, whether it's politics, taxes, whatever, or warmth, retirement. Let's see. I was going to show you. Let's look at inventory, months of inventory. We got number of new listings. Let's take a look at that. Number of new listings. Right. This will help the sellers out there. Actually, that's not what I want to show you. That's not going to be indicative of what I want to show you. So let's take a look at active listings. Here it is. Active listings number of. That's what I wanted. So let's look at that. Okay. Okay. This is super fascinating. Like this chart says everything. Look, this is, normal, prior to 2020, prior to COVID. And then, inventory goes straight down into a valley, then goes straight up because of interest rates. And now we're seeing a decline in inventory. Let's look at the data to support this, right? Number of new listings coming on the market on a monthly basis. Hardly anything, like in 21, that's the trough, typical 4,000s. And we're heading back into that realm since we've been in the 5,000. So peak 2025, now it's starting to come down and be more normal towards pre-COVID years. That's where we're heading, right? And that's typical, right? We saw like a 4 to 5 year kind of market, and we're starting to see an improvement. So if you have questions about this, definitely let's connect. My number is 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. That's what we're seeing in the market right now. And feel free to put in your comments, questions. And I want to know, where's everybody going for the 4th? What's the plan? You might be out of town already. Any special plans? Let me know. Anything interesting? Fascinated to know all about that. Hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th.